Joining me now from the Elysée is Philip Turle, our International Affairs Editor. Philip, what does this mean for US-European relations, and who's getting the favoured treatment in all of this?
Well, I think the message, Annette, straight away from Antony Blinken is that really the same message that Joe Biden has been putting across, and that is that since he took office back in January, America is back. America is back on the diplomatic front. America is back on the world scene after 4 years under Donald Trump, and very difficult relationships with many countries, including the European Union, the 27 members of the European Union. So Antony Blinken on a trip, his first trip to Europe since taking office as Secretary of State, to try to smooth over the cracks in relationships between the European Union and the United States. There's no honeymoon here between the EU and the US, but I think both sides are trying to look on the bright side that the Trump era is over and there is something to look forward to, and better relationships, better relations over the next few years. Now, as far as the good relationships are concerned, Antony Blinken may have been living in France for many years when he was an adolescent in the 1970s. After his mother moved here after marrying a French lawyer, he may well have passed the French high school exam, the baccalaureate, and be fluent in French. That doesn't mean that France is going to get favours. Already yesterday, when he was in Berlin talking to Angela Merkel, he said that Germany was the greatest friend of the United States in Europe. And I think that has irked a few here in France who think that because of his attachment to France, he should be saying the contrary. But when it comes down to brass tacks, the policies that Antony Blinken is trying to sell are the ones that are put forward by Joe Biden. And this is a much more classic approach to the relationship between the United States and Europe, therefore that Germany should be the #1 country. And on top of that is the fact that Biden knows that Germany was the most harshly criticized nation while Donald Trump was in office, and also that Angela Merkel is coming to the end of her term as Chancellor, and therefore she should maybe be given a little bit more preference. She's the first European leader who will get an invitation to the White House before she leaves office later this year.
Now, you mentioned there, Philip, that the Secretary of State is French-speaking, Paris-raised, and hopefully Paris thought this might work in their favour. But is there anything more different about this new relationship with this current Secretary of State?
Well, there are many of the world's problems that they are united in trying to solve. I mean, few of them can be named as the Iranian nuclear agreement, with the US now keen to try to find a solution to that, although Antony Blinken warning earlier today during his press conference with Jean-Yves Le Drian that the United States was only going to be patient for a while and then may give up any hope of that nuclear agreement coming back into full swing. There's also the approach towards Russia, the approach towards China. So there are many aspects that the two countries do see eye to eye on. Climate change is another, the way to deal with the COVID crisis. But I think one of the underlying differences, certainly between France and the United States, is that France wants to see Europe on an equal footing with the United States. It wants to play on a level playing field, as it were. That is what Emmanuel Macron is trying to push forward. That is not the reasoning from either Germany or from the US, which sees itself as the world leader. And I think that Emmanuel Macron is keen to underline that during the 4 years that Donald Trump was in office, the European Union has really been holding the baby, if you like, while the US has been absent from the world scene. So it's a bit off the cuff to say now that it's back, it's now back as world leader and not taking any notice of the efforts that Europe has been making over the last 4 years.
Philip Turle reporting there from the Elysée. Thank you.